My name's Don.
And I'm Peter.
And we are two plebs talking about... California.
This week in the DPRC.
Oh, man. And,
And California has not failed us yet again.
Right? Because
actually, why we've made this its own segment, because they have not failed us in the entire year we've been doing this.
No, not at all. And, in fact, usually what it's come down to is that we just decided not to talk about something ridiculous that happened here if we didn't.
Right.
So, I mean... But sure enough, they gave us two spectacularly good stories for this week because, of course, they did.
Of course they did.
And
because they don't want to make it hard. The only way they make this hard is which story do we run with this week?
Yeah, right. Well, so,
not how do we find a story, it's which one do we run with.
Well, we did start out with that giant list of laws that passed this year. We only got through about a quarter of them and went, they keep putting out too much. We got to let it go.
Yeah, we got to let it go. We got a fucking stockpile here.
So, and this week in a amazing attempt to come out in the lead for dumbest thing that has ever happened.
Ever.
California has decided that they are going to fine and or imprison waiters.
Yep.
Who offer you or who give you a straw without you asking for one.
Yes. If you hand out an unsolicited straw, 6 months in jail or $1,000 fine. Or both.
Yeah, it's good times. So
because you did what you're paid to do.
Yeah, and I mean, I know that's crazy that you would do your job, understanding that this is California and very few people here actually do their job, but still,
right?
The reality here is
the way it should be safe.
Yeah, right. Well, at least man, you've eaten in restaurants around here. There's 25% of the people who might go to jail over this,
right? Because usually it's hey, can I get some straws?
Right. Or the drink that I ask for.
They have that too.
So, I mean, maybe this isn't as big of a deal as we're making it out to be just because California is lazy and shit. But still, hypothetically, if you're a waiter, you could go to jail just for doing your job.
No, all of our fast food places will get hit for it because they automatically hand you the straw.
Well, so
it's in the bag.
A lot of the argument here, only proving how stupid this is that it would not apply to fast food. I'm not making this up.
I missed that part.
Nor would it apply to, supermarkets, right? But more importantly, would not apply to fast food.
Why would it not apply to supermarkets?
I don't know. But if you specifically go to a restaurant.
A restaurant where you don't get to walk away with the cup. That's it.
Sure. And then, if they give you a straw in this one specific instance, only they can be fined or imprisoned.
And it's not even the restaurant. It's the waiter who did it.
Mm-hmm. So, that's nice.
Right?
And,
fuck.
Right? Because, look, the premise that we're going to fine or imprison someone over a straw is pretty dumb.
Yes.
The fact that subsequently we decided that thing that, does all of the straws is that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, let's not target the majority of the straw output.
Right.
It's kind of like their way of going after guns.
Right.
Well, we have a major gun problem. Let's go after what's responsible of 2% or less of the problem. And we'll crusade on that.
Exactly.
No assault weapons.
Exactly.
Pistols are fine.
And so, California, in true California fashion, was there's a problem that is destroying the world. If we don't take care of it right now, then we're all going to die. So, the problem is this big. We want to take care of this much.
Right. Asinine. Well, basically, it's the first step. It's the first step of the 1,000-mile march.
Is that what it is? Later, we're going to have the straw secret police?
Yes. Well, think of it this way. We're pretty sure, because we've heard people flat out say, if we could take all their guns, we'd take all their guns.
Well, that's true.
So they're starting with one type of gun, the assault weapon, and then they plan to get all of them eventually.
So is the supposition, because this is way funnier, that this guy goes home and he's like, I'm going to get the restaurant straws, and then I'm going to go for fast food straws, and eventually I'll get all the straws. In all reality, I can see this happening.
Yes, you can. It's California. Of course you can.
God.
So, if you happen to be watching this show, yes, Mr. Kohler Run, we are making fun of you.
Yeah. Which, by the way,
so basically, anybody who happens to be in California and watches this show, Mr. Ian Calderon would be the guy who is promoting this up.
Yeah.
By all means, give him a call.
Yeah, and tell him he's an idiot. Which, by the way, his response to everyone telling him he was an idiot was, well, I just didn't want him to hand out straws. I didn't even suggest the fine or the prison. It's not my fault.
But I wanted it to be an actual code, therefore there had to be a violation.
Right.
Since there was a violation, there had to be a punishment.
Right.
I only did this out of necessity because I didn't want straws getting in the waterways anymore.
Exactly. And so,
it's not like we don't have anti-littering laws, for one. Because
we do?
Right, because that's how these straws get into the ocean to begin with. People littering.
I don't know about that.
And those
that sounds way too reasonable.
And those straws that make it into the waterway, because remember, they have that nice video of the turtle with the straw removal going on. The straws they got there came from the fucking fast food, not the restaurants.
Oh.
Yet again, you're not hitting the right targets, fucker.
Why does that matter? Because, in case you haven't heard, we use 500 million straws a day in this country.
Oh, you're talking about the 9-year-old report?
Yeah.
Not the report that is 9 years old. The report that was put out by a 9-year-old.
Yeah. Which, look, somebody is going to go, no, I heard the restaurant industry supports that claim, or.
Yes, the 9-year-old said so.
Right, the National Park Service, or any number of people. Turns out that all of them are citing a 9-year-old who called up a straw manufacturer and went, how many straws do you ship? And they went, I don't know, about this much. And then he added that together or something. And he provides no method, but the answer is seemingly 500 million a day. Now, truth be told, I don't know that that's inaccurate, right? 320 million people? That's like 2 straws a day.
Yeah.
Now, as someone who, generally speaking, doesn't drink out of a straw, there are people who, that doesn't apply to.
Right.
However, a lot of the rest of this country, maybe. So, I mean, it could be the case. But even if it is, as much as I get asked anytime I make a claim where I point to anything to go get the peer-reviewed study that says whatever it is that I've said, that we are actually writing law based on what a 9-year-old said.
Yes.
And by the way, this kid is 16 right now. So, this is, 7 years ago they did this? So, if I need a peer-reviewed study to cite a stat from the place that you get stats from, how did we end up writing a law where someone could end up in jail over what a 9-year-old said?
7 years ago.
Right. And, seriously, come on now.
Right.
This isn't even kind of realistic.
At that point in time, which gives a certain group of people, those who wear tinfoil hats. Oh, man. They're like, see, they're just after our money.
Well, in that case, I need to get a tinfoil sombrero. Because, man, they're after our money. Come on now. This state, if there is a nickel running around somewhere untaxed, they want 4.5 cents.
Right?
Come on.
Oh, come on. Their new Constitutional Amendment 22 kind of proves that. We heard the businesses are getting a tax break. We won't have that shit.
Right. And look, by the way, so one of the citations for why this is a good idea, to wholly shift gears, is the plastic bag ban of California.
Right.
Because that wasn't stupid enough. And when every time that someone says the slippery slope is a fallacy, I feel like I should just answer with California.
California.
I mean,
it's a fallacy. Look at California.
Just pick any time, other than literally right now, where a law was put into effect, and you go, And go look at the arguments where, well, this is going to lead to something else extra stupid. And everyone goes, no, we just want to stop people from having plastic bags. And there's nothing wrong with that. And here we are, 2 years later? 3 years later now, I guess. And
there are still just as many plastic bags. They're just triple the thickness.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and now they cost you 10 cents.
And they cost you 10 cents per.
Right. And so we've decided that wasn't enough. So we made up a problem. And then we made up a solution for straws.
Straws.
Anyway, I don't know.
I mean, if people were really worried about this, there's ways of taking care of it that doesn't involve fining people and sending them to jail for providing something to somebody that they most likely actually want. Because that's the whole thing. If the waiter just gives you your straw or asks you if you want a straw, they're getting fined and going to jail.
Yeah.
What if the person actually wanted that fucking straw?
Well, so, fuck you. I mean, I don't know what else to say. This is California.
I mean,
That's always the answer.
Are they giving an excuse to have cops roll through Denny's all the time now?
Yeah, that is spectacular. Let's
get them out of Dunkin' Donuts and into the Denny's instead.
Well, let's be honest. This is California. The way this is going to work is the actual secret police fashion, right?
Right.
So, like, waiter will drop straw on the table, and patchouli oil. Been begging all day douchebag at the next table over is gonna immediately call up the plastic services secret police and be like, I just saw a waiter and he gave a straw to someone without them asking. You should come arrest him immediately because we're a bunch of douchebags.
Right.
And people probably outside of this state think I'm making that up or exaggerating. No, that is exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because it's what happens with everything else.
Right.
So, it's California. It's the way that it is. We're headed straight to communist Russia. And really in that vein of just how much we love communism, Stockton has decided it wants a UBI.
Yeah.
Because everything around here is failing, therefore, universal income.
Okay, Stockton's rep. It's effectively our Chicago.
No, that's definitely Oakland.
No, it's more Stockton.
That's definitely Oakland.
Okay, apparently there are cities in competition for it, but Stockton is notorious for being a shithole.
Well, that's true. Stockton was, and always has been a shithole. But no less, just based on violent crime, Oakland.
And apparently the only thing that really comes out of there of any noteworthiness and acceptance is violence.
No, that's not true.
The Diaz brothers, UFC. Yeah. Well, big time guys. Yeah, it's all violence.
Well, that's true.
But they're doing great.
I guess their positive export was violence.
Yes.
Their primary positive export's violence. But still, they used to grow things there once.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
And, I mean, that matters.
Right.
I guess.
Maybe. I mean, they're not growing it now, obviously.
That's not true. There's, probably grass there. So,
maybe.
That's nice. Yeah, good point. Having been to Stockton, maybe is the correct answer. So, but no less, the city, I guess, municipality, whatever it is, of Stockton,
the area of Stockton,
right, has determined that it turns out if you turn your town city thing into a crime-ridden, can't do anything there shithole. Even the douchebags from San Francisco eventually stop giving a shit that the property's cheap.
Right.
And they leave.
They're like, well, the property is dirt cheap, but I'm likely to get mugged 5 times on the way to my car to go to work.
Right.
So I need to not be here anymore.
They just set up a little robbery Congo line. Din, 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 din. Wallet. Din, 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 din. Keys.
Right?
I can see this.
There's been a movie that's played that joke.
I believe it.
But I believe they were poking more fun at New York at the time.
Probably.
But it applies.
It does. Anyway, so they've decided that the fix for this is anyone now effectively trapped in Stockton after they declared bankruptcy a couple of years ago.
Well, they are trapped there. They can't afford to move out.
Right. And that's city of, not the people in it, though probably a lot of them too. But after having declared bankruptcy a couple of years ago, what they decided is they were just going to give everyone in Stockton $500 a month.
Yep, $500 a month.
And this is going to solve all of the problems.
Well, we're going to find out now, aren't we?
Well,
because they're trying it out for this next year.
So this is the same problem you always have with UBI studies, right?
Yeah.
So if I come to you and I say, I'm going to give you $500 a month for the next year. What I'm telling you is I'm going to give you $6,000. And then nothing, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have a full-time job which is paying you literally anything, are you inclined to quit your job for $6,000?
It's only $500 a month now.
And this is the problem with all these UBI studies, right? Because you get different incentives when it's, I'm going to give you $500 a month for the rest of your life, versus I'm going to just give you $6,000 spread out over the course of a year. And so, at the end of this, they're going to go, see, there was no increased unemployment. There was no increased underemployment. Everything's fine. And now...
It's because everybody knew there's no fucking time limit, for one. It's not a realistic study.
Right.
I mean, I understand that they want to study and they want to get facts and figures, but the overall thing is, the moment you do this is, well, we're doing a study. This is for the next year. It's only for a year, which means, no, I can't just quit my job, because after a year, I'd have to find another job.
Right. And so what you get is, and this is where lots of the results of UBI studies come in. They're like, yeah, these people, they go out and, they pay down bills, and they buy things, and that stimulates the economy, buy in excess of what they would have. Of course. Because
you gave them extra money.
Right. You just said, I'm just increasing your wage for a year. So if they have any sort of financial planning sense, they don't decide to depend on it, though it's Stockton, so they will. And if they do decide to depend on it by, for example, attempting to buy a new house that costs more money, the bank goes, well, you've only got it for a year. No. So the world around corrects for it. So they can't get into this kind of trouble. However, what will you see if it's permanent? They just get to add $500 a month to their income and go, I'm going to just buy a bigger house. Regardless of necessity of house, regardless of anything.
Right.
Doesn't matter. May as well just do it. And by the way, that would be the best investment of that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. However, what are you going to really get more of? Well, I guess we could just go out to eat 3 times a week now.
No, this is California.
Well,
recreational pot's legal.
That's true.
They're going to smoke it.
So they're going to go out to eat 3 times a day. It's just going to be all brownies.
Right.
and potato chips. And it's Stockton, so maybe a little meth.
Maybe.
But, and there is other... Read the article about this. It really just comes down to, we think it would be a good idea. And this is why I say it's just communism, right?
Let's give it a whirl.
Because, look, I understand that we had a long-form... Well, I and another person had a long-form, very boring, if you're not interested in economics, kind of discussion about this.
Yes, you did.
But there are real problems with this that no one is addressing. And just like anything else that California can sink its teeth into is, there are problems? Who cares? Let's just do it.
The federal government will give us the money to be able to afford to do this.
And that's right. And big surprise, the rest of the country doesn't want to subsidize whatever stupid shit we decide to just do at random.
Mm-hmm. It's like, for some odd reason, people need to be told, you 4 states, it's not the rest of the country's job to pay your way.
And that's the end of our show for the day.
That's right. It's taco time.
However, before we go, we'd appreciate it if you shared us around.
You can find us on YouTube,
BitChute,
Facebook,
Twitter,
Patreon,
and Maker Support.
Thanks for stopping by.